Over the weekend, I ran one of my Smasher sessions, which are live monthly streams where I talk about Amazon FBA even more, do a teach-in on a specific topic to do with Amazon FBA, and answer questions or interview a student who has recently entered the 10K club. Now, this month's session was an interview session where I interviewed a student named Dami, and Dami has absolutely smashed it. He joined the academy in May 2020. He started learning, progressing through the materials, and in September, he launched his first product. And to say he has smashed it is once again, like many of my students, an understatement. He broke through the 10K barrier in December and he broke through the 20K barrier in January of this year. So Dami has now gone on to launch two products under the same brand. So I thought it would be a great opportunity to invite him onto the show, learn about his experience, his background, his motivations, and any secrets that he has. And he did actually give out some incredible tips in this session. So I thought, let's get it onto YouTube and share it with the world. So I really hope you enjoy this one, guys. If you do have any comments for me or Dami, please do post them in the comment section below and we'll try to answer them. And guys, for the main event, I'm so excited to bring in the main man. Dami. So before we bring Dami in and learn about his story, learn about motivations and tips and tricks, I spoke to him before this session and he said he's got some wicked tips to share with you guys. So I'm actually buzzing to hear what those are because I reckon he could probably teach me a thing or two. Before we bring him on, I just wanted to kind of introduce his journey within the Amazon FBA Smashers Academy, right? So you guys know from the Smashers School, one of the things that I encourage you to do is as soon as you join, as soon as you start, put a post in the Facebook group, introduce yourself, explain your motivations and stuff, because it's exactly what I did. And it is the one thing that has kept me so motivated and I think kind of like proud, and you get a sense of pride knowing how far you've come, because I think without doing things like this you forget how little you knew when you first started. So this is Dami's first post and he's basically kind of giving his motivations and being very motivational, which is great. So that was on the 13th of May and he has come on like huge amounts. He progressed through the course very quickly, and in December 2020, so just over 6 months of him having enrolled, he smashed through the 10K barrier, absolutely smashed it. And that was after 4 months of selling, right? So you think that's impressive. 10K in December. He sent me this literally like a month later. He did 20K by January the 1st, in fact. So December for him was absolutely mad. And I'm so thrilled that he's like, all of his hard work is paid off because, I know from the mentoring side and seeing how active he's been in the group and stuff, that he's worked incredibly hard for this. So without further ado, let's bring in the man, the myth, the legend. I'm going to see if I can bring it. Dami, hello.
Jansen,
Here
how's
we
it
go.
going, mate? Can you hear me?
How are we doing?
I'm good, I'm good, I'm
Awesome.
good.
Awesome, Dami. I can hear you loud and clear. I was a bit
Good
worried that I
stuff.
might get some feedback or something. So, Dami, before we kind of delve into, you know, tips and your massive list of tips and tricks and stuff, I think it'd be really helpful to the guys just to kind of get a quick introduction of you, in terms of maybe your background, who you are, where you're based. I think, are you based in London?
Yeah, yeah, based in East
Yeah.
London. So, yeah. You're not from London, are you a London boy?
Well, I live in South London, but I'm
Okay.
originally from Sheffield. Can you not tell from my Yorkshire twang?
I'm
I've
not really
been,
the best at accents.
I've lived down south that long. I kind of lost it. But
Yeah.
yeah, I guess the thing I love about these sessions as well is just kind of getting to know you, because I think I've never really asked you. So yeah, let's all learn together, Dami. Let's learn about you.
Yeah, so as you say, my name's Dami. I sort of started off in banking, so that's sort of where I started my career. I did like accounting at university. I got into investment banking where I was working as a project manager and business analyst. So that's all my background. I was working in banking for around about 3-4 years. And I feel like when I first started, I mean, that's sort of all I ever wanted to do, really, work in banking, wear the flashy suits and all that kind of stuff. But then
Yeah.
as I sort of progressed within the sort of industry, I just realized that in the long term, it's not really sort of what I wanted to do with myself really. So I started researching a couple of things that I could do. I came across property. I sort of got involved in that in terms of like finding sourcing properties for investors and that kind of stuff. I did a few property flips myself, and when I did my first property flip, I was like, this is it. This is what I want to do. So
Yeah.
I sort of determined that that's sort of the route I wanted to go down with my life. And then I quickly realized that in order to do that, you need to have some money behind you. So that sort of led me into sort of researching what else I can do, what else I can find to sort of generate some funds. And like everyone else, really I came across Amazon FBA, and I sort of researched it. You go onto YouTube, you see people with Lamborghinis and
Yeah.
Rolexes, and I'm like, can I trust this
Yeah.
person? And then yeah, I mean, I came across you yourself. We spoke, and I was thinking that, you know what, that Amazon FBA is definitely something that can sort of facilitate my dream or facilitate my goal. So it's just about finding the right person and yeah, trying to just get started and push on with that really. So that's sort of
Yeah.
how I got into Amazon.
So what was it then that appealed to you about Amazon FBA versus other e-commerce things like, I don't know, drop shipping or just maybe like retail arbitrage? Was there anything specifically about FBA that appealed to you?
I think, I mean, you mentioned that arbitrage and all that kind of stuff. To be honest, I mean, with me, I'm quite a simple person. I didn't really
Yeah.
understand the whole concept about arbitrage and
Yeah, yeah.
dropshipping, that kind of stuff. So I said, you know what, yeah, let me just like go forward with something that I completely understand. You basically create a product from scratch. You sort of develop it and then you try and sell it. A, B, C. To me, that's simple, and that's all what made sense to me. So that's why I did that.
Yeah, yeah, great. And had you kind of were you following many people on YouTube? I know you mentioned like the Lamborghinis and all stuff like that, but had you kind of been following the world of Amazon FBA and stuff before taking the leap? Or you just like, do you know what? It's buying and selling. I've done this with property. I'm now going to do it with my own brand and stuff like that and build it from there.
Do you know what? I wasn't really following people from before, but I watched a couple of videos, and I was trying to actually sort of just figure out the steps by watching videos on YouTube, which I mean, like I was trying to save money really. So I literally got like a list of videos I was watching, and then I actually tried to set up an Amazon account before. So I remember
Oh,
setting it
right.
up, and then I actually went into the console, and I was like, I'm never gonna get bothered with that because I didn't know what the hell I was doing. So I literally stopped it.
Yeah, yeah.
I just parked it for like a whole year. So that's when I sort of said, let me go back and actually do it properly and like do a course and just take on really.
Yeah, I actually remember because I think I started doing calls, I think, just about in May, and I think when you called me, that was one of the first. So I still remember you. I remember all the calls, but that one specifically, I remember because I remember you were so keen and motivated, and you were like, "This is what I want to do. I want to achieve this. I want to do this, this, and this by this date." And I was like, "Yeah, this guy means business." So, okay, I think let's talk about what's happened since then. So, on that fateful day in May, you signed up and you kind of went through the course and stuff. Can you walk us through how you, approached it, and I guess each step that you've taken since to get you to where you are today? Um,
Yeah. So I've actually got like the list of steps here. And like you said, I remember the first call we had as well. So I remember speaking to you. He was like, "Yeah, you're actually the first person I'm calling." I was like, "Yeah, here we go. He's trying to sell it to me. Yeah, he's trying to sell it to me. Yeah." But we sort of went along.
no, yeah, no,
Yeah,
it was.
yeah. Do you remember that? Yeah. So yeah, and we had that call, and then I feel like yeah, after speaking to you, like you came across as genuine. I said, "Look, like, I mean, just keep it real with me. I mean, this is what I'm trying to achieve." With and this is sort of like they might not have. Do you think it's possible? And then you were like, look, that it's definitely possible, but you're gonna have to put in some hard work. And I was like, that's not really an issue.
Yeah.
So the next day I signed up. So I think I signed up on the 10th of May. And then yeah, I just started with the course really, and I started watching the course that week. I watched it like 3 or 4 times because there's quite a lot to sort of to sort of
There
take
is,
in with
yeah.
PPC in terms of like finding products, and it's something I've never really done before in terms of like selling online and all that e-commerce stuff. So I had to watch it a few times, and then I think yeah, luckily by 20th of May, that's when I started my product research. So after about a week and a half, started my product research. The following month, luckily with when I was doing my product research and started contacting suppliers, the first supplier I came across she's been like a godsend. So literally like
Really?
she's been a godsend. So I've forgotten who it was in the group, but someone sent like some flowers to their supply. I think I'm gonna have to
Oh,
like say
don't. It's
that.
Taylan.
It's
Don't
Thailand,
big
isn't
him
it?
up
It's
again.
Thailand.
All the new members don't know about that.
Yeah, I'm gonna
For
have to
those of
send her
you
some
that are new
flowers.
to the group, yeah, Taylan's basically a bit of a ladies' man, and he sent his supplier like chocolates and flowers or something. So there's been a bit of a competition in the group now about what you can send your supplier to, I don't know, flirt or build a relationship. So, so you didn't send any chocolates or flowers then, Dammy?
Nah, not yet, not yet. But it's coming. It's
Yeah,
coming. It's
but
coming.
you got a good supplier and a good relationship and stuff just by luck, which is great. It's great.
Yeah. So yes, I've mainly been dealing with her, but I've had like other suppliers here and there who can. Because I mean, when you go to one, it's kind of difficult to find out what a reasonable price is. So you obviously get like 3 or 4 together, and then you can sort of assess what is a fair price for a product. And then yeah, so we started discussing stuff. We started finding out about more about my product, how I can add value to it, what I can do to make it different to other competitors. And then yeah, we basically agreed on what we can do. Then I got my first order for around about 250 units on 20th of June. And
Mate,
then yeah, I
I
launched.
love the precision that you've got these dates down to an absolute T.
Yeah,
Perfect.
yeah.
20th of June. Okay, so and you say you started research. I think you did the post in the group on the 20th of May. So how long was it then in total from starting research? Was it about 4 weeks or so?
Round about in terms of like the first message I put in, I ain't got that here, but I've got that. I did my product research 20th of May. That's when I
Yeah,
started. And
yeah.
then yeah, from then to make my first order at 20th of June. So yeah, around about a month, around about 4 weeks. And then yeah, I
Yeah, good
launched mid
going.
September as well. Launched mid
Yeah,
September.
cool. Okay, so you placed the order.
Yeah.
Um, and then yeah, let's keep going because I want to. I don't. The guys don't obviously don't know how many products you've got and stuff like that. So I want to kind of
Okay, okay, okay.
build up
Yeah. Yeah.
to it.
So I mean, like, yeah, I made the order for 250 units, and then I remember when I did that order, I was thinking, what are you doing? That 250 is just way too much. Like, no one's gonna buy
Yeah,
your
yeah,
trash. Like, do you remember? Because I mean, like, I was even saying that to you. I was like, that's a bit much. Like, let me just order 100. I'll see how it
yeah.
goes, and I might order more the next time. So then I did 250. Then I launched it. The first day was kind of slow. I think I saw like maybe 2 or 3 units. I was like, this ain't never gonna happen. Like Janssen has just sold me a dud here. I'm gonna like leave Amazon FBA.
Oh, cheers, mate. Thanks for that.
I didn't tell you that, but that's what I was thinking. And then I
Yeah.
remember one morning I woke up and like I was like, okay, cool, let me go and get some breakfast. But like I'll check Amazon after. I had my breakfast. I looked at my phone and I saw like 8 units. And I mean for me, I mean that might be nothing to some people, but
Mate, that's
at that
big. That's
time,
big.
yeah, I looked at it and I was like, I saw 8 units and it's still morning. Do you know what I mean? And then the next day it was like 12, and it just kept on growing and growing. And before you knew it, like I had to phone you. I was like, Janssen, like I need to phone my supplier and I need to like order 1,000,000 units and I'm running out of stock. I'm running out of stock. Do you understand? So I
Yeah,
feel like
yeah.
that was like a big turning point in terms of what I thought was possible and what was actually possible with Amazon FBA. That was like a massive turning point for me.
And that actually, Dammy, is massive because I think it's one of the areas that so many people struggle with when it comes to product research because they'll find a product and they just can't, I suppose, jump over that hurdle, that mental hurdle of is this product actually going to sell? Is it not? Or whatever. And I think once you actually make those first few sales, it completely alters your mindset in that you think, do you know what? This is actually very possible and I am capable. And then I think from that point on, for me anyway, um, once you start doing product research for more products, you're way more confident about it. And you're like, do you know what? That is a downside of the product, but I can, counter it with this and that, etc. So yeah, it's
Yeah.
good point. So yeah, so you started, becoming the next Mark Zuckerberg. You're making all the stacks for the units. So what happened next?
Yeah, so from there, I mean, yeah, I kept on making sales, and then before you know, I was almost running low on stock. So I spoke to my supplier. I got a re-up. This time I got 1,200 units, and then again, I was thinking the same thing. Like from 250 units to 1,200, that's a big jump. Then you're like you're taking, you're
Yeah.
pushing it here now. You're pushing it here, and then it came into the Amazon warehouse. I didn't have to do a relaunch again, although I was out of stock for quite a bit. I just put up the PPC. And then 4 units started selling again, and then now selling 20 units a day on like 20 units, and I was like flipping, like what's going on here? So I phoned my supplier. I'm like, we're gonna need some more. We're gonna need some more now. And yeah, and yeah, that's what I started doing that. And then I think at the same time as well, because I was sort of not really rushing it, but I was so ambitious in terms of like what I wanted to achieve. I started doing research into my second product. I started trying to launch that one as well. So yeah, so in the backgrounds of the first product, I was working on my second one. I was sort of getting things together, getting the images done, the listing
Yeah.
done, creating instructions, doing demonstration videos for the kind of product it was, and that was basically it. Yeah, so yeah, just currently working on my second product, which actually launched.
So you just
Um,
launched your second product, haven't you? And
yeah,
is that with a new brand, or are you doing it under the existing brand?
yeah, so it's within the existing brand. I mean, lucky, I think that what I've found and what I think people will find as well is that the second you sort of get a product within a niche, ideas just start coming to your ideas
Yeah,
start coming to your mind in terms of like how you can sort of create different products, or how you can make a different product in the same niche and how it relates to that one. I mean, with me, I'll be on the street, or I'll just be I'll be anywhere, and then I'll be like, geez, like
thinking.
yeah, I'll be cooking or something, flipping pancakes, and then an idea just coming to my head about how I can create like a related product. So when I first came up with the first product, I was like, this is a fluke. I'm just gonna just try and milk this product. But
Yeah, yeah,
before you know it, you have like 5 or 6 different ideas, and you know how you can differentiate from
yeah.
what's already available. And yeah, it just keeps on going. That's sort of how it goes. That's what I found anyway.
Yeah, awesome. I think that's a great summary of your journey. And you know, as I said earlier, you've absolutely smashed it. And I think there's a lot of things I know that I want to get you to talk about because I think it will really help the guys in terms of the differentiation angle. But before we kind of go down that line of questioning, when you found the product that your first product that you sell, was there anything that made it stand out versus others? Did you feel way more confident about it, you know, in particular, or did you have some uncertainties? Or were you just like, "Do you know what, this is the perfect product, I'm going to smash it."
I, I wish I was like that, but I mean, I looked at it and I was like, I looked at the data, and the data was telling me one thing, that is that it's going to be a success. But when I looked and I was like, who's going to buy that? I don't know
Mm.
anyone who's gonna sort of buy that. So I just said, okay, let me look at what my competitors are doing, and let me see that how I can sort of improve it to make it a bit more attractive to a customer.
Yeah,
And that was it. I literally just thought about different ways I can, that if I was a customer, thinking from a customer's perspective, if I was a customer and I wanted to buy this product, what could I sort of get that I'm not really getting from these other people, these competitors, that I'm getting from this new seller. And that started giving me ideas, started giving me things that I can work with, and that definitely helped a lot. So I know that obviously, like one of the things that I've done is like is it's basically bundling. I mean, bundling. You obviously spoken quite a lot about bundling, and it's just
yeah,
like adding value through things. For example, ebooks and that kind of stuff. So I mean, using online resources, there are just so many things that you can sort of chop and get from different places, put it together, and then just add it on. And it's definitely proven to be really successful with my selling
yeah.
as well.
And one thing that I do want to mention to the guys here is that Dammy has done a freaking amazing job of the ebooks. He sent me one for his second product the other week, and it's like a book. It's I think it was like 30 odd pages or something. And you know, I think well, actually, what was the process for doing that? Were you just copying and pasting off random sites, or did you kind of feel like it was like a dissertation at uni or an essay at school?
Yeah, keep it down. Don't tell them about copying and pasting from online. No, but a lot of it was copying and pasting. I think. Well, initially I was thinking that, you know what, let me just copy different things and put into one resource. But then what I said was that, look, that if I'm actually trying to create a brand now, like the best thing to do is actually make it original. So what I did was that I started taking inspiration from online resources, from books that I had as well. Because funny enough, the product I actually found was actually within a niche that I actually found interesting myself. So I'm actually interested in the niche. So when I got online resources, what I'll do is that I'll actually just sort of alter what they were saying and sort of put
Mm,
into my own words, add
yeah, exactly. Yeah.
my own twang to it, sort of take out different things that I didn't really sort of agree or believe with, and also yeah, just sort of go along those lines. And that's basically how I did it. Really, that's basically how I did it. So a lot of online research, watching videos, and just upskilling and uplearning myself.
Yeah. And speaking of videos, so should we talk a bit more about the other way that you differentiated, which I thought was fantastic, and I actually want to learn about how you did it.
Yeah.
With the video side, should we talk about that?
Yeah. So I mean, luckily the product as well. Another way in which I felt like my competitors were sort of failing to capitalize on it is that they weren't really it's a product whereby you can add value by showing like demonstrations. You can sort of do things along the demonstration side of things. And for some reason, my competitors who had been in the game for years, because obviously you can tell by how long they've been listing it for, they weren't really taking advantage of that element. So I said, okay, let me see if I can find some people who can actually help me with that. So I went into Fiverr, found some video models that can sort of help with these kind of things, and I basically, yeah, I mean, what I did was like I got like a logo, because I mean, when I'm trying to build a brand, I got like a logo T-shirt. I sent off to one of these video models. I sent her the product as well, and yeah, basically, literally wrote a script about like I mean, initially I
Yeah,
thought like I had no creativity skills whatsoever, but then I felt like Steven Spielberg after a while, when I was almost directing them in terms of how to sort
yeah,
of carry my product, how to sort of motion in the videos, what they should say, how they should say it, and these kind of things. So that sort of helped me create an advert for my product, which completely changed my conversion rates, and also a demonstration video as well, which actually sort of shows the customer how to use my product, some ideas in terms of what they want to do for the future and these kind of things. So it was really
yeah.
helpful. I
And
learned a lot from that as well.
I thought that was really, really what's the word? Like thinking outside the box there. And it's something that I think you could build upon, even more. Even, guys watching this, if you think that your product is quite difficult to use, or it could have like a mini course within it, like steps to use it, how to get advanced using it, like I was talking to somebody not within the course a couple of weeks ago that sold stuff to do with pianos, and one of his ideas was like a mini piano course. He was like a professional, and he was just like, do you know what, I might film myself. Anything like that that you think you can learn how to do on like YouTube or whatever, you can just film yourself, or if you're not comfortable filming yourself, just record your voice or hire somebody on Fiverr or Upwork to do it. And Dammy, how much was it cost to hire this person to act out, your script?
It all depends on your negotiation skills. Mine ain't really the best, but I mean, I paid about £70, and I mean, to be honest, I mean, yeah, it might sound like a little bit, but I'm telling you now that in terms of what it's generated me in sales, I can't even sort of
Yeah.
quantify that. I know that. Do you understand what I mean? So yeah, I'll definitely say it's worth it if people, if you have the capital behind you to sort of just yeah, put in like a little bit more cash and invest in those kind of things, then it will definitely make a big difference in your results.
Yeah, and the way that I think about expenses when it comes to Amazon is just convert it. How many sales is that, right? 70
Yeah,
quid is, if you say whatever for maths point of view, it's £7 profit per unit. Okay, that video ad is going to cost me 10 sales. What's that? Half a
very
day.
true.
Bam, done. It's way easy to kind of think about it that way.
Yeah.
So that's brilliant. I think some great tips there that you've provided us with in terms of ways to differentiate and think outside the box. One other thing that I wanted to mention that I thought helped differentiate you is the quality of your images. So I know you kind of spent a bit more, didn't you, than maybe what I guide in the course. But well, yeah, how much did you spend? Do you think it was worth it? Do you think it's you know made the difference between doing really well and just doing okay?
Yeah. 'Cause, I mean, in terms of what I spent, I mean, there's a person I use that's recommended. I mean, on Fiverr, and I mean, in terms of it, like the price, I think it's like around like 200, between two and £300. And I mean, whilst that sounds like quite a bit, I mean, I'll never forget initially when we first started. I know that in the course you were saying that you might want to get some professionals to do this, and I was thinking I'll do it
Yeah.
myself. I could make some amazing images myself. So I literally spent one whole night trying to crack out some images on Paint, and in the morning I was like, yeah, this is gonna be great. And I showed it, and I showed it to you, and I was like,
I
Jansen, like,
think I
being
remember that, and I
completely
think
honest.
I was horrified.
Yeah, you was like in the politest way possible. He was like, do you know what, you get what you pay for? And in my head, I was thinking, I didn't even pay for it. Do you know what I mean? So
Yeah.
I was like,
I didn't know that. I didn't know that you'd done it
yeah,
yourself.
I kept that quiet. But then in the end, I was like, do you know what? I actually need to sort of, if I'm gonna do it, you need to like do it properly. Don't cut any corners. So I said, okay, do you know
Yeah.
what? Let me go and get a professional. Let me get like someone who does this for a living. I invested the money, and he gave me the images. And when I saw it, I was like, that is a complete game changer. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
It was literally looking at like, yeah, just just something amazing. So I was like, I'll never ever cut corners again, really. So
Yeah,
that's what I'm
and
doing.
you know, I had that kind of problem as well, hurdle as well. When I first started selling, I was like, I don't want to spend all this money on pictures and packaging and stuff, and I'm not getting anything from it. But you know, having done it myself, having you guys now heard about Dammy, I'm telling you, it's really worth just making your listing look professional as you can, because it will massively help conversion. Think about when you're on Amazon, if you look at a listing and the pictures are rubbish, the writing is, you know, broken English, etc., you're probably just going to be like, let me look at another one. And then if you go onto Dammy's listing, you'd be like, whoa, this looks so professional. And with that, like thinking it's professional, you probably think, oh, it's probably higher quality. When really it's the same product, right? It's the branding, the pictures, the description. If you can just kind of make that come across like you mean business, it's professional, then it's gonna work wonders. So let's now talk about highlights. I guess what's been your most favorite thing that's happened so far? Any standout moments? I know there's been quite a few because you mail me every time you're smashing it out the park.
Well, the best moments, I would say, literally just creating a product from scratch. I mean, there haven't really been too many things I've created in my life. But yeah, being able to actually create a product, creating instructions, like demonstration videos and all that kind of stuff. And
Yeah,
then when I actually got my product sent to my house and I saw it and I was like I actually made this. That is
yeah.
actually me and my brand. You understand? So that was like quite a big moment for me. That was a proud moment for me. Um, and yeah, like another good moment was when I started selling. When I launched and I started selling, I was thinking that
When you
because
start
even though I
thinking I
had,
was a con man, and you were like, actually,
yeah, I was like, this Jansen guy, I don't know about this Jansen guy, mate. And then yeah, like it just started. Even though I had the product and I was like, this is a good product, and I would actually buy it. Other people buying your product is something completely different, because what you think about your product is it doesn't really matter. It's about what the customer thinks, because they're going to be the ones buying it, right? So
yeah,
when the sales started coming through, I mean, the first day it started selling. When it first started selling, on the first day I was like, oh, it's probably just a fluke. It's probably just a fluke. Then the next day I was like, still a
yeah,
fluke. Then I and
yeah.
it kept on going. I mean, even till now, I still think I'm fluking it a bit. You know what I mean? But
Yeah, I know. It's you never forget though those first sales. I remember
yeah,
exactly where I was when I got the sales, and I was like, what? Like people are actually buying this thing. And then you know, the next thing on from that is when you get your first genuine 5-star review,
yeah,
and
yeah,
yeah,
yeah.
it's an amazing feeling. Um, so yeah, you've certainly had a lot of highs. What about what can we help the guys with in terms of challenges, things to be aware of, maybe things that you wish you thought of before, or you're like, Jansen should have bloody warned me about that, but he didn't.
Yeah, everyone
Nothing,
should
I
get.
hope.
Yeah, everyone get out your pens and your notepads, because like, yeah, there's quite a lot of things that I've learned along the way, or even like things that I feel like I should have, what I found challenging. So, for example, one of the things that I found challenging was I don't know if you remember, but we spoke about the fulfillment fee. I know that you obviously mentioned it in the
Yeah,
course
yeah,
about dimensions and that kind of stuff, but where I was almost rushing things, that's something that I sort of overlooked. So when my supplier was making my product, I forgot to even tell her that it needs to be within a certain dimension. So when I was filling out all of my spreadsheets, I was saying that the fulfillment fee is going to be X, it's going to be this. I'm going to get this amount of profit per unit. So when my forward I went to go and pick it up from my supplier, first of all, it was over their requirement. It was over what I told her it was going to be in terms of like the dimension and the weight. So I got overcharged there. I was thinking, flipping, oh, okay, cool. Let me just get on with it. Let me just keep on pushing.
yeah,
So it got to the Amazon warehouse now, and Amazon are charging me an arm and a leg for the fulfillment fee. And I was like, what's this? What's going on here? Do you understand what I mean?
yeah.
So I mean, I'm like, I ran to, I was like, Jansen, bloody, what have you done? What have you done, mate? And then
I
yeah,
think I mentioned that actually in Smash Session. I
yeah,
remember
you
it. Yeah,
did, you did. I remember that. So in the end, I had to sort of just buy the bullet. Luckily, it was only for obviously like my first 250 units. But even with that, now I was still able to sort of make a profit on that batch, even though I wasn't really expecting to. But that's something
yeah,
that I was like, okay, cool. Like next time, I'm gonna make sure I'm on top of it. So literally, with my second product now, this all kicked off last week. With my second product, I made sure that my supplier was like taking pictures when she was measuring it, and I was on top of it, because I was like, I can't afford to sort of pay over the odds for the
give
fulfillment fee.
profit away. Yeah,
Yeah, yeah. So it got to Amazon, and Amazon charged me. They overcharged me for the fulfillment fee. And I remember, like, I went back and I was like, could you please go and remeasure it? and then I sent them a picture of it of me measuring the product, which made sure it was within the
Selfie, just like
dimensions.
with your tape measure,
Yeah,
just
yeah,
like,
I was like that, and
yeah,
I was smiling. Well, I wasn't smiling inside, and I also sent them pictures of my supplier measuring it. So
yeah,
they remeasured it, and they're like, "Okay, we apologize. We've reduced the fulfillment fee." So that was like a
nice.
massive yes. I mean, for me, that was like a big achievement because it showed me
Yeah,
that Bezos is not always right, number one, and it showed
yeah.
me that also like I mean, yeah, like once you sort of make a mistake, just make sure you learn from it and just keep on going forward, and that's it.
Yeah, yeah. I think that's a great tip as well. I kind of mention it in the course in terms of when you get your product, try and get the packaging as tight around the product as you can, because
Yeah,
you never know if it saves you 15p on your fulfillment cost. That might not sound a lot, but if you're selling 1,000 units a month,
it
that's
adds
going
up.
to soon add up when it comes to your profit.
Yeah.
Um, so I guess what about talking about the ordering and in terms of like order sizes and stuff? Have you found it challenging? I suppose knowing how much to order, the timing of sea shipping, because your product has to be shipped by sea, right?
Yeah, that's the only way I can sort of make it work in terms of numbers. So that's something I'm still trying my best to sort of get around because when I'm still in like the infant stages of my company, it's a thing where initially I was selling, let's say, around about 5 units a day. So it's sort of difficult to sort of gauge how many units you're going to need when you go from 5 to 10 to 20 to 25 averaging a day. So I'm still trying my best to sort of find out how many, what sort of works best. But I think what I've come to realize is that what a good idea is that instead of under ordering, it's best to sort of over order and maybe leave some units in like a local warehouse. So if you are running low,
Yeah,
you can just go from the local warehouse to your take from to the Amazon warehouse, and then make another reorder from wherever you're making it from. So that's something I'm still working on.
yeah. I mean, I guess it's easy to say that now because you know that the product sells right. But if you think about how you felt when you placed that first order and you were like, "Oh God, 250 units. Maybe I should have gone 100." Um, is there any advice that you can give to the people watching that might be thinking exactly that about their own product? So thinking 200, like how would you gain comfort now if you could go back in time to think 250 units is fine?
Well, I think I mean for me this is just how I look at it. Like in terms of gaining confidence on in terms of what your products can do, it's all about the preparation that you've done as well. Do you understand? So what gave me confidence is that I did my research, I followed the steps in the course, my images were spot on, um
Yeah,
the figures were spot on. So I was like, do you know what? I've like the data tells me one thing. So what I believe or what I think is kind of just separate. Like these all like limiting beliefs if you call it that. Do you understand what I mean? So if the data says
yeah,
one thing, follow the data and just take the gambles you can. And I
yeah.
took it. I took in. To be honest, I didn't really see it as a gamble because again, I did the research and things were stacking up. So I was like, let me just go with it.
Yeah, it's like measured risk, isn't it? Like you
Yeah,
can never
yeah,
say, you know what, this is 100% going to succeed, but
yeah,
you can do all your different checks to be like, look, I'm mitigating it as much as possible, and
exactly.
it's kind of like now or never. Okay, so just because it's Valentine's, I don't want to take up too much of people's evenings and stuff, but so let's end with one question from me, and then guys, I'll run through the comments, the questions you've got. If you've got anything else for Dami, it's no holds barred, within reason. So Dami, final kind of question from me. What do you think has been like the overall kind of key to, your success and the fact that you've taken action, you've launched two products, and you're hungry for more?
I'll say for me, I mean, like, there's nothing special about me. I'm not like some superhuman, super intelligent guru. I literally just try my best to just push through. One thing that I've always said to myself is that anything you sort of try and do, there are always going to be challenges. Like it might come sooner, it might come later. I mean, anytime I go into the group, I always go into like the Facebook community to try and sort of see what's going on and try and help people where I can with questions and answers. And you always see that some people are facing issues. I mean, I forgot. I think it was Sam. She actually had some units stuck in Poland, and I saw that, and I was like, "Good luck." So,
Yeah,
you know what I mean? And or you might see another post and someone saying, "Oh, I'm struggling with something code 5665 or whatever," or someone's
yeah,
talking about
yeah,
verification. And I'm just like, yeah, like it's tough because I understand that you're going through that issue, but I'm going through this one, and someone's going through that. The second you start to understand that these challenges are always going to be there, and you just have to just try and find a way to get around it. That's when you're sort of when they do come, you're like, well, I sort of expected you to come out of nowhere, isn't it? So you can try
yeah.
and just understand it and get around it. And that's yeah,
Exactly.
that's what I did.
I think, and that plays into your mindset of positivity and being a problem solver. We all have problems when it comes to business. It's just kind of the part of an entrepreneur's life. I have issues. You have issues. Everyone has it. It's just kind of about your success is kind of dependent on how you approach those problems
Yeah.
and, adopting a mindset where you're like, do you know what? I'm not backing down. I am going through this. And that's what I had with my second product. I listed it and Amazon removed it and said, "You're not allowed to sell this product." And rather than giving up, I was just like, "I am selling this product." So I spent hours learning the regulation of the test reports and all sorts of rubbish. And after 2 months or whatever, I finally got unbanned or whatever. So I do that. I think from speaking to you, from the emails we've had, it's clear that you do that. You're a fighter and you always look for solutions. I think that is definitely a key to an entrepreneur's success. So,
Yeah.
brilliant. Thanks
I've also
for
got some
putting up my
tips. So,
question. You
sorry
got
to
some
cut you
tips?
off
Yeah,
again.
yeah, we can.
Yeah,
Yeah,
I was
yeah.
gonna go
Okay,
through
cool.
these yeah. So just a lot of the things that I learned as well that I wish I would have sort of learned earlier. I wish I was aware of earlier. In terms of, yeah, I already spoke about cutting corners, but it understanding the whole course, because I mean with Amazon now, like PPC as well, it can sort of get on top sometimes and sort of trying to sort of speak to suppliers and trying to stay on top of everything. It does get overwhelming. So one thing I
Yeah,
sort of learned and that I'm adopting now is just sort of taking things easy, not trying to sort of rush things, taking things one step at a time. If I would have known and adopted that earlier, times whereby I was getting frustrated and I was kicking the cat at home, I would have just relaxed and just said, okay, do you know what? Yeah, let me just relax from this today, and I'll come back tomorrow. I'll take a day off and come back, and that's all what I do now. When things are getting a bit on top, I don't try and just bomb through it. I literally just give myself some time, allow yourself to sort of
mm,
relax a bit, and then come back to it as well. And that's about it. And then things sort of like tend to sort of work themselves out. Another thing is just setting reasonable targets. Like I remember when I was speaking to you, and I was like, "Yeah, I want to earn X amount per month. I know it's possible. Like, tell me it's possible." Yeah, do you understand? And
yeah,
while it is possible, I feel like sometimes if you have like a plan that's reasonable and you can sort of achieve it in not necessarily like long term over the years or whatever, but if you can achieve it in reasonable steps, then sort of just follow that rather than trying to just make £1 million a month in the next 3 or 4 months. I feel like that's where a lot of people sort of tend to fall off when they're not really seeing their results in the short term. Yeah.
yeah. Spot on. Yeah, I'm fully agreeing with you here. I'm just worrying now if you're going to start your own YouTube channel and start doing
Yeah, I'm
motivation.
thinking about it, Anson. I'm thinking about it, mate. I'm thinking. No, I'm joking, man.
Yeah, but no, what you've said there is absolutely spot on with goals and stuff. The amount of people I talk to that just say, "Jansen, I want to quit my job. Can I earn 10K a month in 2 months? And I've got £500 starting budget." And I'm like, you're just going to lose motivation. And it's just just set yourself small, like measurable goals, and like gradually build up and up and up. Um, did you have any other words of wisdom before we go through the audience's questions, Dami?
Um, no, yeah, you need
It's
to
been some
celebrate your
brilliant tips.
successes.
Great
What's that, sorry?
tips. What about in terms of note taking stuff? Because I think when you joined, I didn't have the cheat sheets in. So the cheat sheets, I think I put in like August, September time. Are you
Yeah.
a note taker? Do you kind of write everything down and revisit, or you just sat in a chair for 8 hours straight, just staring at me, just like absorbing?
Yeah, I'm saying a chair for 8 hours straight absorbing, but with me, I have to take notes because I mean, in terms of like my memory, it's not. I don't have a superhuman memory, and it's not really the best as well. So I mean, I'm always taking notes, and when I take notes, I have to try and simplify it for myself. Do you know what I mean? So it's literally
Yeah.
like reception notes or yeah, one notes like when I'm writing notes. Do you know what I mean? So yeah, I just try and make things as simple as possible, and I just try and revisit them, revisit the notes when I can. So yeah, not for me, note taking is the best thing.
Actually, now we've spoken about that, I remember you. I think you were the one that made me do the cheat sheets because I think after about a month, you said, "Here are all my notes from the course. Have I missed anything out?" And I was like, "This is really good for summarizing it." So I'll have
Oh,
to credit you.
so you stole my notes, right? So you stole it to create the cheat
You were
sheet.
right. You were right about me. Yeah, I'm a scam. So no, brilliant tips. And I think Dami's done the pay-per-click course, and he finished that in a ridiculous amount of time. And again, kind of took notes. And I think what you also do as well, which is great, is you kind of write what your understanding is of something, and then you send it to me and just say, "Can you just read that? And is that correct, whatnot, and whatever." And I think that's it's a very good way of learning. So, okay, let me just scroll up now and let's just have a look at what the questions are saying. So, okay, here's one for you. So, what drove you to pick your particular kind of product niche? Was it completely random on research, or did you already have an idea in mind before you started the product research?
So when I first started, I didn't really have a preference for any particular niche. I mean, when I came to you with ideas, I was thinking about selling things about dogs and things that I had no care, like I had no care in the world for, as long as it was making money. Do you understand? So fortunate enough for me, I came across a product which seemed like it could make money, and from there I sort of thought about how I can create a niche around that, how I can sort of create a brand around that niche. And that's sort of what happened to me. I mean, I fell into it, but then when I sort of fell into it, I realized that actually this is actually a niche that I'm actually involved in, outside of sort of
Yeah,
Amazon FBA, but I just didn't really know about it like that. Do you understand? So
yeah, yeah.
yeah, luckily I just fell into that niche in the area, and then that's how I just took off with the brand.
Brilliant. And do you use your product? Are you kind of like an active user of it? I think
Yeah, I've
that
actually got
always helps.
I've actually got a
It's
video. I
on
don't
the
want to
floor
say.
now.
Yeah.
Don't show it. Don't show
No,
it.
I'm not gonna show
Okay,
like that.
okay, we've got Steve who's saying how much of your sales is like organic, how much is advertising. So
I
organic,
don't
guys, if you're very new, it just means you're not paying advertising costs. It's just your natural search position. You get sales from it.
I don't have the exact figures to hand, but I think when we had our call last time, I think it was around about 60% was actually organic, and then
Yeah,
I think it was about 60 or 58 or something like that was organic, and then the rest was obviously PPC generated, which I was quite
yeah.
surprised with. I didn't really expect that at all. I saw it and I
A-
was
and
like,
it, and it shows you've done a cracking job with your listing optimization and getting ranked on the first page. And for those of you that are kind of doing the profitability calculator in the course, I'm actually fairly conservative, and I say organic, put 30%, but over the long term, expect 50. And Dammy's cracking 60% after only a couple of months. So that's something else to consider when you're calculating profitability and stuff. Remember that my assumptions in the course are a bit quite conservative. So just kind of, keep that in mind. It does pay to be conservative, but at the same time, just, be aware of that. Okay, so I'm just coming through some of these questions here. Some of them we've already referenced, so I'll skip those. Okay, what about this one? This is from Mr. Facebook user, Mr. or Mrs. Facebook user. Is cash flow hard to manage with reordering to begin with,
I found
or
it
how
to
do you
be
manage it?
in in terms of managing.
It is.
I don't think I've managed it quite well, to be fair. But I'm doing the best I can. I mean, I have like money put aside for Amazon FBA, and I just try and make sure that when I'm reordering, that it's just within the amounts that I can afford, really, and that's about it. I mean, in terms of sort of like, I know I did accounting at university, but managing the funds is probably not my strongest point, I would say. But yeah, I would say that if you can just try and watch the pennies, and yeah, they will add up, really. That's about it.
Yeah, absolutely. It's definitely one of my biggest challenges, kind of managing cash flow and knowing how much to put in stock and
Yeah.
so on. So yeah, don't. I mean, I'm an accountant as well, qualified accountant as well, and I don't think it makes a blind bit of difference. Okay, we've got another Facebook user, anonymous. Did you do the video from the launch, or did you add it later?
Okay, so with the demonstration video, that was with the launch, because what I did was that I put that onto one of the inserts as a QR code, so that needed to sort of go in from the get go. But with the advert, obviously that came a lot later on. So I had my listing and I was already selling, and then I got the the video model to do the advert. I managed to get it onto Amazon, and then that's when I was able to sort of see how well it converted in terms of my conversion rate, because you can obviously go to the Amazon dashboard and see how your conversion has been doing when you make
Yeah.
significant changes. So yeah, so I mean, yeah, with regards to the demonstration video, that was from the get go, and then the advert came a little later on.
Awesome. Yeah, it's really helpful, that conversion line, actually being able to see and seeing little changes and stuff that you've done. Out of interest, do you know what your conversion is?
My
Challenging,
conversion, nah, yeah, my conversion initially was around about late 20s, and then I did something. I'll mention what I did. And when I did that change, it went up to like, it was literally consistent. Before I ran out of stock, it was round about in 50%.
Whoa.
What I did, yeah, what I did was, I mean, with my products, um, I managed to sort of get someone like a professional to sort of verify and say, yeah, that we've been working with this brand and this product is incredible. That we
Yeah, yeah.
recommend it, and then from there, when people are obviously looking at my products and they're like, okay, cool, that this person might have like 100 reviews or something, but it's been verified by a professional, and that professional verification, it's legitimate. It's not just me waffling. But when I actually got that, that's when my conversion sort of went high. So one thing I recommend is that if people have products and you can sort of get like a professional verification or someone to sort of vouch for your products, that definitely gives a customer some satisfaction or some comfort in terms of
Yeah,
purchasing products
definitely.
against others. Yeah.
Yeah, I did it as well. I didn't, it wasn't quite certified, but I managed to get my product in like a top 10. And I think Edwin in the group posted the other day about his product in the top 10 as well. Put it on the listing. I've got on mine as featured by, and then the logo of the company, and you've got it
Yeah.
as well. And as you say, it helps. And again, guys, in the course, I say conversion. I think I say 30%, and this man 50%. Just I'm jealous. I'm jealous. Mine certainly isn't that high.
it was only 50% for a week. I don't know if it's going to continue, but let's see how
Oh,
it
forget that
goes.
bit. It was 50%. Okay, so have you got Sam's asking, have you got brand registry?
I've
Have you got it?
literally just yeah, I'm literally in the process of doing that now, because I registered for brand registry um late last year, and then it got rejected. Well, obviously the process takes long for it to sort of go through, and I remember you just spoke about it earlier
Yeah,
on, and then you mentioned it to me when we spoke during this week as well. So then I've literally just resubmitted it, so it's now going through the
wicked.
the whole process. So hopefully that comes through as soon as possible.
Great. So your conversion's going to go even higher then.
Yeah, fingers crossed, man.
Might hit 60%, mate.
Maybe
Okay,
even
guys,
90.
just because we're over the hour now, so I haven't got to the bottom yet. But if you've got any final questions, just pop them in now. And if not, Danny can answer them in the comments after. Lena's saying the video. Did you ask a model? Um, or did you buy the product and leave a review with a demonstration? I think so. The ad itself is on your listing, isn't it? It's not part of a review.
No, it's actually on the listing. Yeah, yeah, yeah. So I
Yeah,
managed
and
to,
you hired a model, didn't you, from
yeah, that's
Eastern
correct.
Europe?
Yeah, yeah.
Okay. So quick question from Lena. Yeah, you can answer them, get them to call you. It's in the course. The lesson's called How to Get in Contact with Amazon, I think. So just have a quick search for that. Dami, are you only selling in the UK?
Yeah, for now. But I mean, literally, we had a conversation earlier about in terms of like sort of expanding out and selling in different countries. But I think for now, I'm going to try and focus on selling it in the UK, establish myself with a few products before sort of going to expand into different markets. But I feel like, yeah, selling in different markets is definitely something I'm going to look to start doing in a not too distant
Yeah,
future.
definitely. But I think, yeah, like we spoke before, I think explore all avenues of growth in the UK first, kind of dominate the
Yeah.
UK, and then you can spread your wings. So, what about negative reviews? Have you had any? And were you like me, where you just couldn't think of anything else, and you just wanted to go and find that person and give them a thwack?
Do you know what? I actually got one negative review, and it was actually from a person called Grumpy Grandpa, and I was like,
Oh God!
I'm gonna find you, you old man. But no, I mean it happens. I mean, look, you can't. I mean, even if you have the best product, there are going to be some people who are not going to be completely satisfied. And I think like you always see those kind of people who, even if you sort of offer them an alternative or something else, they just don't want to be happy. So I try and just manage things as best as I can, try and help people where I can. But if you get a negative review, you just got to make sure that all of your positive ones sort of outweigh that one. And like, I
Yeah,
mean, even with that negative review, when I see it, it's literally sandwiched in between um, amazing ones that are saying, "Oh my god, this is like the best product. It's helping me do this. It's helping me do that." And then you see one this grumpy one. So I'm sure that if people are looking at this like this is just a bit of an arse
yeah,
sandwich,
I
there's no.
agree. I think whenever I'm buying something on Amazon, I'll look at recent reviews, and if there's a 1 star and it's something pathetic, like didn't work or whatever, I'm just like, well, send it back and get another one.
Yeah,
And like you
yeah,
say, some people just love to complain. I got a 1 star the other day. It just said, Didn't work. I was so angry, I threw it in the bin. And I'm like, why don't you just contact me and I would have sent you a new one, you know? And then I got someone the other day emailing me for a replacement part. I sent it and they obviously didn't know how to use it. They just gave me a 1 star. And I'm like, look, I've gone out of my way there to try and do you a favor and you've just left me a 1 star. You know that's going to hurt me. So these
Yeah,
people, there's a special place reserved in hell. I hope no
yeah,
one watching
yeah.
this left like many 1 stars. I don't think I've ever left one. I'd only leave one if the supplier was literally like, "I hate you," you know, "I've ripped you off," whatever. Then I'll consider it.
Yeah, there's some cold people out there, Jansen. There's some cold people out there,
Sick, yeah. Okay, so Dean's asking how much time are you having to dedicate to the business?
man. Every day. I'm doing this full time. Do you understand? Like for now, I'm actually doing this full time. So, in terms of like the time I spend, and I spend at least at very minimum at least 3 4 hours a day. I know that's probably overkill, but I'm just trying to
Yeah.
sort of
What are you doing? What are you doing for that 3 4 hours? Is it like learning or?
yeah. So a lot of time I'm learning. Where I'm in the process now of trying to create a brand. I'm also creating a website. I'm creating my socials. I'm trying to sort of, and where I'm trying to sort of um um be careful with how I'm spending my money. A lot of like the social media things. I'm trying to sort of learn how to
Yeah,
do that. I know I mentioned obviously that you need to get professionals to do it, and I am getting help from professionals, but there are a lot of
you
things
use
that I couldn't
paint
be
still.
doing. Yeah, nah, not quite paint. I've graduated from paint for now, so I'm probably using
Yeah,
like
Photoshop
Canva or
now.
things like that. Yeah, yeah.
Yeah, but
So
I think just to maybe add a bit of context to your answer, what in terms of that 3 hours, how much would you say is actually essential? That's just to do with maintaining the business.
I'll
Because
probably
I
say
mean,
around. So what's that?
I was going to say yeah, because I kind of I know that you are someone that is trying to explore all avenues of growth and
Yeah,
pull every single lever. But if you weren't to do that, if you were just like, look, I just want to continue selling my first product and
yeah.
that's it.
An hour, 45 minutes, an hour will be enough to sort of go through it in terms of like managing negative keywords and the
Yeah.
whole wording process. Looking at profit figures and those kind of things. An hour was more than enough time. So yeah, I probably should have
Yeah.
said yeah, just
And
do
you'll
an
you'll
hour.
get you'll get better at that. You know, my negative keyword, the PPC routine, I'm in, I'm out in like 10 minutes. It's just
Oh
it
yeah,
is if you make it habit, you become very, very, quick at it.
easy.
We've got another Facebook user asking, do you know your net margin on your first product?
I don't have those figures to hand right
No,
now. I don't
all
really
right,
have those figures.
yeah. Okay.
I just know
It's
it's
uh,
quite
it's
decent.
it's a bit like Dragon's Den, isn't it? I know from when we spoke, when you were talking about organic split,
Yeah,
you were making a decent amount, but I wouldn't like to guess. It's definitely over
yeah,
20%.
yeah, yeah, yeah,
Um,
yeah, yeah.
okay, so we've got lots of really positive comments here, Dammy. So I'd encourage you after this to kind of read through, print them off, show them your girlfriend. Be like, that I'm a big deal in the Amazon world.
Yeah. I'll let her know. I'll let her know.
Okay, so we've got comments about the 10 Club. The guy that makes the 10K award is got issues because of COVID at the moment. I've been hounding him for your award, and he said as soon as schools are open, he's going to be able to crack on with it. So I will be sending it you. I can assure you.
Oh,
Um,
amazing.
yeah, and I'll be wanting a photo and all sorts, photo shoot. Have you had to deal with any hijackers?
Hijackers. So those are people who sort of just try and sell your products on Amazon as well, right?
Yeah, they jump on your listing usually when you're out of stock.
Not just yeah. I'm gonna have to check that now that you've mentioned it. I'm gonna have to check and see what's going on there. But I mean, I've seen like people
Yeah.
selling my products on I think eBay, and when I saw that, I was like, oh, who are you? And do you know what? I probably shouldn't say this, but I actually found the person's address, and I was thinking to sort of top up the tank, but nah, it's just eBay.
I always think it's a good thing though, Dammy, because I'm like they're kind of marketing for me, and if they sell and make a quid off it, I'm
Yeah,
not
then
too fussed. But no, I appreciate. Noel's asking, did you start as a sole trader or go limited company?
limited company. That's sort of what I went down with. So I already had an accountant, so I sort of just yeah leveraged with that and just went down that road.
Yeah, wicked. Grant is asking, did you get your units checked? Like, did you get an inspection? I'm assuming you got sample.
Yeah, yeah. So I've got a sample. I mean, I know you recommended it in the course that you always have to sort of get a sample. At least that way, the supplier takes you seriously and knows that you're not just someone who's messing about, and you
Yeah,
also get to assess the quality as well. So, yeah. Again, I went into Five. I managed to sort of find someone independent from the company that can go down and do an inspection, take some pictures, and that kind of stuff. So that definitely helped. and gave me some comfort as well.
Yeah, and I'd actually really highlight the importance of an inspection. So one of my products had issues like not turning on sometimes. It's electronic, and my supplier just fed me the line of no, it's quality checked 4 times. Like it must have got damaged on the ship, and I was just like, you're chatting rubbish. And like the um, the defective rate was like 5%, and I was getting really irritated. So I paid for an inspection, full inspection with a company called FBA, and they did an awesome job. On my next order, it failed again. The inspection failed. And I said to my supplier, look at this, it's failed. And she was like, okay, we do check it 4 times, but maybe they're not being that thorough. A load of rubbish, basically. But that order then shipped to Amazon, and my defective rate has fallen. I don't even know what it is now. It's not noticeable.
Cheers.
So definitely, guys, you can get an inspection done for 100 quid. And when you kind of do that on a per unit basis, it's not going to be much at all. It's definitely worth it. Okay, Steve. Yeah, I'm actually on the whiskey and coke tonight. I just thought, whatever, Valentine's treat on my own. So yeah, so you've got some more good comments here. Diogo's asking about brand registry. Yep, I can put that in. The reason I didn't before is just really because it's getting a trademark's 200 quid and some people just don't want to do it. But yep, I can put that in. And then final question. This is just a general one from Suzanne. How can someone jump in your listing? So I would visit the lesson in the course just talking about hijackers. And it's summarized very nicely there and succinctly there rather than me trying to have another go at it now after a few whiskeys. So great. Thanks everyone for joining. 7 p.m. on a Sunday night, Valentine's as well. Really appreciate it. Dami, thank you so much. It's been awesome to have you on this and for me to get to learn more about you and the journey ahead. I'm expecting big things this year. I'm sure you are gonna make me very, very proud, and I reckon the 100K award is not far off, to be honest, based on those figures earlier on. So, Dami, thank you very much. Have you got any final words, final tips, or anything like final quotes?
Final quotes. I'm a sucker for a quote. I don't really have anything on me now, but just yeah, everyone just keep on pushing. I mean, yeah, I'm sure everyone's facing challenges, but yeah, just keep on going, and I'm sure everyone can sort of achieve what I've achieved and even achieve more. Like it's not
Yeah,
impossible. So, yeah,
spot on.
anyone can do it.
Spot on. All about the positivity, guys. And remember, I've said this, I say this every session. I want to have everyone watching now. We've got 50 people on. It's going to take years and years, but I want each and every one of you to get that 10K. We'll get you on here. We'll learn all about you, and it'll be great. So thanks everyone. Hopefully you've not annoyed your other halves or whoever with Valentine's spending it with me and Dami. But yeah, as always, thank you for joining. And if you've got any questions, whatever, drop me an email, post in the group, and we'll be glad to help you. Enjoy your Sunday evening and the rest of your weeks, guys. Thank you, Dami.